teenagers are brats. That's not mean. That's actually one of the most common misconceptions about adolescence. Like this. But it's actually like this. Adolescence is a time of transition and confusion. So let's hope this video answers a few of your questions. In this topic, we will learn about puberty in detail and the changes seen in boys and girls during adolescence. All living organisms exhibit the characteristic of growth. We all know how a seed grows into a seedling, which eventually grows into a plant. Similarly, in humans, a baby grows into a child. The child becomes an adult. It is this transition from childhood to adulthood which is commonly known as adolescence. It is a gradual progression of a girl to a woman or a boy to a man. Several changes mark this phase. Some of the major ones include change in height, change in body shape, development of sex organs, and development of secondary sexual characters. All this is made possible by the hormones that control our body. The trigger for puberty in both girls and boys occurs in hypothalamus in the brain. It releases the gonadotropin, releasing hormone. This hormone stimulates the pituitary gland to release two hormones called follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, and luteinizing hormone, LH. These hormones target the reproductive organs in boys and girls. In girls, they stimulate the ovaries for the production of estrogen. In the same way for boys, the FSH and LH target the male reproductive organ, namely the testes. The testes are stimulated to produce testosterone. The powers of estrogen or testosterone are felt all over the body. Let us now understand the effect of these hormones. Adolescence in girls and boys. The onset of puberty in girls occurs between ages 8 and 13 and in boys between the ages of 9 and 14. Both boys and girls show rapid physical growth during this stage due to the growth of the long bones. Pubic hair begins to grow and the skin too is affected as acne and pimples are seen erupting on the skin. Besides physical growth, the twin hormones also affect the mind, and thus emotional changes also surface during adolescence. Girls show the development of breasts, narrowing of the waistline, broadening of hips, the ovary gets bigger and becomes functional. Each month, an egg is released which travels down the fallopian tube into the uterus. If the egg is not fertilized, progesterone levels fall. The lining of the womb or uterus, which had thickened in anticipation of a fertilized egg, now breaks down. This causes bleeding, which is known as menstruation. The hormones closely regulate this ovarian cycle so that the whole process repeats itself every month. In boys, the scrotum grows in size and so does the testes. The testes now are capable of producing around 120 million sperms per day. The prostate gland and seminal vesicles also become larger. Lengthening of the penis is also observed. During this phase, the cracking and deepening of the voice occurs. It is due to the increase in the size of the larynx. Pubic hair, underarm, and facial hair begins to grow. Let's summarize. The transition from childhood to adulthood is commonly known as adolescence. It is the transition of a girl to a woman or a boy to a man. The onset of puberty in girls occurs between ages 8 and 13 and in boys between ages 9 and 14. Both boys and girls show a rapid growth, both physically and emotionally. Pubic hair begins to grow and the skin too is affected. Girls show development of breasts, narrowing of waistline, broadening of hips. The ovary gets bigger and becomes functional. The monthly ovarian cycle becomes functional and menstruation begins. In boys, scrotum, testes, prostate gland and seminal vesicles show an increase in size. Penis too lengthens. The voice box becomes bigger, thus causing the voice to deepen. Pubic hair, underarm and facial hair begin to grow. These changes help in transition from childhood to adulthood, where the adults are now ready to welcome the reproductive phase. Like everyone says, change is the only constant. And like every other thing, the human body is also subjected to it. On this note, girls, I would like to introduce you to your new roommate. It will visit you every month. Give a round of applause for menstruation. For all of us, it is important to know how it happens. Don't forget to look up how it actually happens.
Keep imbibing. We believe in you.